Hello YouTube. I wanted to make a quick little video to talk about actually what is one of my favorite, I guess you can call it EDC multi-tools, something that is very pocket friendly, that's very easy to carry around. My favorite multi-tool from just like an overall tool standpoint is the Leatherman Wave Plus. Really like this. I think it's very good size where it's still carryable, but obviously it's pretty heavy to kind of make it a very everyday carry. This is something I would consider kind of a temporary carry. If I'm just going to be doing some chores around the house, I'll carry it then, but not something I would ever kind of take out with me for a full day. So, I kind of fell down the rabbit hole of some of these Swiss Army knives to kind of help fill that void, and to a degree I think they are pretty pocket friendly, especially when you're looking kind of, at this side of the spectrum. This is the camper, so it's a pretty slim knife. It's not terribly thick. So if you look at next to the mini bug out, it's not terribly much thicker. It's almost like, and the bug out obviously is an extremely thin knife, so it's not the best knife to compare it to. But I would say it's probably like taking two bug outs and stacking them on each other. But I think these are pretty cool. As you kind of get down towards this end, the Handyman, which is probably my favorite of the bunch just because of the tool set. But again, I guess you could carry this all day long. I'm thinking if you're going to work in an office setting, I don't know if I'd want this being around in my dress pants. So I actually ended up picking up this little guy, which is super cool. This is the Swiss Army Manager, and ultra light, fairly practical. It doesn't have a whole lot of tools, but it's got the basics. A knife. This is actually a bottle opener, wire stripper, screwdriver all in one. And then you got a file, which I don't know. I feel like if there was one tool that could have been replaced something more practical, that would be. Maybe like a mini saw would be good. I don't know why. I've always liked the wood saws on these knives, and of course scissors. And I like this. This is ultra light. You can easily put this in your pocket and never even feel a thing. But I gotta say, the one tool that I've actually grown to like a lot, and I think it's my favorite one that I almost always want to bring with me, is the Gerber dime. I love this thing. It's about the same size as one of these little Swiss Army knives. It's got this bottle opener that kind of adds to the size, but if you took the bottle opener, it wouldn't be too terribly bigger. It's a little bit thicker, but it is well, looks wise, it's not terrible. It's not too much bigger from a dimension standpoint in terms of length, width, and thickness. It is noticeably heavier though, so you definitely feel the weight of these things. But again, it's about the same weight as this, so it is a little heavy for its size. But overall, this is probably my favorite tool that you can easily carry. This guy, it's a little big for a keychain, at least for me. I don't really like to have a lot of my keys, so I wouldn't. You could put this in your keychain, but that's not what I do it. This is something I can just easily slip in my pocket, whether it's in your jeans in like that fifth pocket. Even in dress pants, you can slip this in your pocket. It's not going to be too noticeable. But this thing, I think, is just, the tool, from a tool set perspective, what you're getting in such a small size, almost like rivals like one of these. Obviously the pliers, for small pliers, these things are pretty darn good, I think. To compare it with the Swiss Army knife pliers, I feel like, size-wise, they're not too much bigger. These just feel like, these feel more robust. This feels a little, for taking a fishing hook out, yes, but trying to take up some nuts or bolts with this thing, I don't know about that. But this one, I think you could. This one, if you can get a small bolt, and I can easily put some pressure on it and unscrew things. So the pliers on this thing are great. The blades obviously aren't, you're not going to have a humongous knife blade, but I think for your kind of just small little tasks, Which one has a knife? And like I said, it's not obviously anything that you're gonna bring down a bear with, but you know, it's a little knife. It's obviously made to compete kind of in this space. So the knife blade, obviously, while not big, with that little kind of bellow, it kind of gives you a little more cutting edge. It is pretty sharp. This package opener, I mean, don't get me wrong, I think it's good, it works, but I mean, if I could open packages with this just about as easy as that. So I don't know, I wish this would have been something a little more unique of a tool set. I would say maybe like a wood saw, or like a file, like a small file that you can actually, that has a file on both sides, but also has a blade you can cut metal with. But this one to me is kind of a waste. It's practical, it does work actually really well, but again, I can do that with the blade as well. I don't need a second blade. So kind of thought this one was a little bit of a waste. The scissors on this, again, pretty darn good. Just about as good as a Swiss Army knife. Let's pull out these scissors. Which ones are they? There we go. So about the same size. Yeah, about the same size. What I like about this one is the spring is housed here internally, so less of a chance to, I should say internally, it's got the, similar to, what am I trying to say here? It's got the same spring setup as the Swiss Wanger, where the spring is actually kind of, you know, like a torsion bar that's part of the knife, so it's a little more sturdy, not gonna jostle out of place. Where these springs are a little delicate, you can easily, you know, if you're not careful, kind of hit this and knock it out of place. So this has kind of a more robust, kind of a torsion bar type spring that's built into the tool, so it's a little more robust. But size-wise, cutting-wise, I mean, again, it's about the same. And then it does have a super tiny file. I don't know what the hell you're gonna file with that. Maybe a pencil or something. I don't know. So a little two-sided file, screwdriver tip here, and then another screwdriver. Which again, I don't know. I feel like you could have just. I don't know if that's the best use to have both of these. I could have maybe do something better. But the other one that I actually didn't even notice that this had out of the gate was it actually has tweezers too, which was super cool. I actually didn't even pick up on them the first time I played with it. But it has a nice pair of tweezers with a little bit of a angle to them. So that kind of actually surprised me. I mean, I knew it had it, but I totally forgot. And then playing with it, just didn't pick up on it right away. But overall, this Gerber dime is great. I love this thing, especially the price point. I mean, these, I think they retail for 20 bucks depending where you look. I was able to get them on Amazon for, the first thing actually was like a random sale. It was like 16 and change. So that was a pretty good price. And then once I got it, I knew I liked it, so I knew I'd be getting more of them. And then just recently, you know, with Amazon Prime Day, just to show how much I like these guys, I actually ended up getting 2 more. So we got a whole brand new one here as well that we can do a quick unboxing with. And the reason I got a couple of these is because, given their small size and practicality, I might just toss one in the car and just keep 2 around in case I lose one. Because, again, they're such a cool tool for how cheap it is. I mean, this one, I think it was like 27. It was also a Prime Day, so it came with like 20% off, so knocked it down to like, I don't know, like $22. So, you know, more expensive than that, but this one has more tools. The other thing I should mention that this one has is the pen. Forgot to cover that. So kind of cool. I have a pen. Normally these have tweezers on them, which I think, or not tweezers, a toothpick, which I think is pretty dumb. So glad they kept the tweezers and they replaced the toothpick with the pen. So pretty cool. I kind of actually like this guy a lot too. But these are probably my favorite, kind of that small space. I think these are great tools to complement with like a, if you're going to carry a regular knife, these make a great complement to it. Hang on a second, let me try to get a knife out. So if you're carrying, you know, like a full-size knife, I think this makes a great complement to it. And that's typically what I'll do is, you know, I'll carry like the bug out, and then this would be a great companion just to have in your pocket for the things that this one can't do. But yeah, I'm a big fan of these, and at the price point, they're super hard to beat. The one that I'd love to try is the Leatherman squirt. I have never actually tried that one. I mean, it's kind of in the same space, but the only thing about the squirt I don't like is the price point. It's $40. They seldom go on sale, and this is for a little less than half the cost of a squirt. I just can't really justify paying double for a squirt when this one, in my opinion, is just as good. And this bottle opener, to be honest, well, at first I thought it was gonna be kind of an annoyance because it's such a, I don't know, just kind of sticks out. I actually like this bottle opener because a lot of times if I'm, like last weekend, you know, had beer outside, this was just so much easier to take out of your pocket, open a beer, versus like if you had something like this, you know, you're in the dark and have to kind of, unless you really have this memorized, you kind of have to look around and, you know, kind of find, you know, open it, you know, close it, you know, where this one just pull out and you're good to go. So this actually, I kind of like it. I can see it kind of obviously being a little in the way as well, but so far for my use, this has actually been a positive to kind of have it just kind of right in the open. But let's do a quick unboxing. There really isn't a whole lot to unbox with these. They're pretty much what you see is what you get. But let's see here. Let's see how it comes included here. So it comes in a bag. You know, for anyone that actually reads these, I have no idea what it is. I just throw it right in garbage. Comes in a loose bag, and that's pretty much it. So that's kind of all you get with these things. There are different color options. There's actually pink that's all blacked out. There's red and black with satin color blades or tools. There's a green and black with the satin color tools. I really like the all blacked out, which is why I got this one. I don't know, I like the coating. I like to have it all blacked out. So yeah, that is my recommendation. So for a small, you know, tool to kind of keep on you at all times, love these things. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is a close second because it is super light. It's, you know, lighter, but it just has way more practical tools. But I like them both. I think they serve their purpose. And like I said, this is a great pairing with like a larger knife that you're gonna want to, that you might carry, but this just kind of adds a little extra tool set. So typically that's kind of what I do, is if I'm carrying one of these, I'll always have one of these, where if I'm using one of these and really there's no need, unless you're carrying one of these smaller ones like the camper, that was a little limited. So this one I think can be paired pretty well with it, where the handyman already kind of has everything you need. So yeah, that's the video. Overall, as I've said it, if you haven't seen one of these before or looked into it, I would strongly recommend. They do go on sale, I think, periodically on Amazon. You can get them for under $20 pretty routinely, and you just can't go wrong with it. All right, thanks for watching.